You're sitting by the fire at dusk. The light is fading fast. One of the hunters who left that morning hasn't come back. In a group of 30 people, that absence is impossible to ignore. Someone is missing. This wasn't a rare drama. For hundreds of thousands of years, every human band faced the same quiet crisis. A person who walked out into the landscape and did not return. What happened next tells us a lot about how our ancestors actually lived and how they survived. Hunter-gatherer bands were small, most numbered between 20 and 50 people. In a group that size, every individual carried real weight. Lose one skilled tracker, one experienced mother, or one reliable forager, and the entire social and economic balance shifted. Absence was noticed within hours, not days. The first response was not panic, it was information. People reconstructed the missing person's last known movements. Where had they planned to go? Which water source? Which ridge? Which fruiting trees or animal trails? Everyone in the band already knew these patterns because daily life was shared and routes were familiar. That shared knowledge was the starting map. Then came the core technology. Tracking. Tracking was not a hobby. It was a high-level cognitive skill refined over hundreds of thousands of years. Modern ethnographic records from groups such as the Zhu Huanzi San, the Hadza, and the Ashe show what that skill looked like in practice. Experienced trackers could read age, sex, pace, load, and even emotional state from footprints and disturbed vegetation. They distinguished one person's print from another's, the way most of us distinguish handwriting: a broken twig, a scuff in soft earth, a bent blade of grass. These were data points. Search parties formed quickly. Usually a small number of the best trackers went out, often the same people who hunted large game. They moved with purpose, reading the landscape the same way they followed an injured animal. They called out, they listened, they checked known resting spots, water holes, and natural shelters. Because the group lived in intimate knowledge of its territory, the search area was not infinite. It was constrained by the missing person's habits and the terrain itself. Children were a special case. Ethnographic accounts from several foraging societies record that children occasionally wandered and became lost. Parents and older siblings taught spatial skills early, precisely because the cost of failure was so high. When a child went missing, the response was immediate and collective. The entire available adult workforce could shift to the search. Not every search succeeded. Exposure, injury, predators, or simple disorientation claimed people. When a body was found, it was often recovered and treated according to the group's mortuary practices. Practices that appear in the archaeological record as deliberate burials from at least 120,000 years ago, and possibly earlier. When no body was found, the person simply remained absent. In small societies, that absence carried lasting social and emotional weight. The group adjusted, roles redistributed, stories of the missing person entered the oral memory of the band. There was no separate institution called search and rescue. The same skills that kept the group fed, landscape knowledge, cooperative planning, expert reading of signs, were the skills used to recover one of their own. The search was an extension of everyday survival competence. This pattern has deep evolutionary roots, strong social bonds, high spatial memory, and the ability to coordinate under uncertainty were not optional. In a world without maps, phones, or professional rescue teams, the capacity to notice absence quickly and respond with skilled cooperative tracking was a matter of life and death, for individuals and for the group. Today, when someone goes missing in the wilderness, professional teams still rely on many of the same principles: last known position, behavioral prediction, tracking, containment of the search area. The technology has changed, the underlying human response has not. When an ancient human failed to return to camp, the band did not shrug and move on. They used the most sophisticated information system they possessed, their collective knowledge of people and place, and they went looking. That quiet, determined response is one of the oldest cooperative behaviors our species still carries. And it is still the reason most of us feel a sharp, immediate urgency. The moment we realize someone we know has not come home.